Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So today I will be watching a video of a certain type of conversion. I have watched a lot of videos about people telling how they converted or reverted to Islam. I have watched a lot of videos how people left Islam into Christianity, a lot of it. And today it will be different because it is titled "This is what it feels like to leave Christianity." So it doesn't say towards what, so I believe it's towards leaving religion altogether. That's my guess. But without further ado, let's watch.
What's going on, guys? So, as a lot of you know, I am a pastor's kid. I grew up in a Christian home with a Christian family, and I went to ministry school, and I used to be a leader at the church. I used to be a leader on the worship team at my church, and for the last 3 years of my life, I haven't been involved or doing any of that. And I found myself at this place where I am a skeptic, where I am a agnostic, where I am sometimes borderline atheist, aka I don't really know what I am or where I'm at. I just know that I'm questioning a lot and everything. And so on this journey that I've been on through the last 3 years of my life, there's been this constant, consistent feeling that doesn't seem to go away.
Okay, so that is the channel, the Philosophical Misfit. So from what I understand, you can call him a free thinker or agnostic for the time being.
So in this video, I want to talk about those feelings that just don't seem to go away, and maybe they will go away, and I feel them kind of going away, but at the same time, you know, the first 22 years of my life, those don't just go away overnight. So I want to talk about this in hopes that if there's other people out there that are feeling the same thing, maybe it'll help you feel less alone. So these feelings that I constantly have, the first I want to start with is a sense of guilt. And it's this guilt, and I know a lot of Christians or religious people are going to be saying, see, you feel guilty, therefore since you feel guilty, God is real, and you feel, you know, it's not like that. It's like this cloud and this pressure of religion was on me for 22 years of my life, and like I said, those things just don't go away overnight. But what I've found in this 3-year journey is that the guilt, like when I've progressed through it, you know, some days are better than others, then there's this like ultimate freedom, like a freedom that I have never felt in my entire life.
Okay, so far, from what I understand, despite him saying that he has been an integral part of the church in terms of the worship team or something, I do not know what that is, but it feels like, or it seems like, the whole time it is like he feels trapped, right? He is being forced basically into that environment, and hence, of course, anyone in that environment, I would think, when they can escape it, it is giving them a feel of freedom, right? So I always have this feeling, not this feeling, meaning I always think that certain religious school in my country, when their approach is as such, right, to cage, philosophical cage, basically these kids that they cannot think outside of this cage, they cannot ponder outside of this cage, they have to just comply without reason, without understanding, without any rational. It can only last for so long, for so far, until they escape and then they feel the freedom from escaping, right? I do not think, even if, of course, I do not think at this moment Christianity is the truth. I think Islam is the truth. But regardless of the religion, even if the religion is the truth, but if your approach is by confining and caging people's mind and thoughts and feeling, etc., it will not last long, I would say, because you cannot, cage what is inside for that long, right? It will find its way out, even if the physical appearance still comply with the force, but inside it might already have left, right? So I never understand, personally speaking, I never understand why we want to use that approach, like how to say, forcing the kids, to comply with certain things without really giving the appropriate room for analyzing, scrutinizing. Yeah.
Even in those 22-ish years of growing up in a Christian home, being a Christian, and all of that, like, I've never felt the freedom that I have felt in being at where I'm at, being skeptical, being doubtful, being, exploring all these things that I feel like I wasn't even allowed to explore when I was, in this Christianity religious thing. And so it's just almost like the guilt of, like, when I was a Christian, I was like interested in these things like philosophy and many other things as well, that it's almost like it's progressed into like wait, I don't have to feel guilty. And so as I've been progressing through this journey, it's like the guilt has turned into this freedom that I've never felt before, and it's actually amazing. And another feeling that I consistently feel is doubt. And I mean, this is like a given.
So without going, okay, I think the first point, just to remember this, is about guilt. Yeah, basically I'm not sure what, because how I take it is like being trapped and then escape toward freedom. And many cases of school children tend to be trapped, and then when they go to the higher learning institute, the university, the college, they become more exposed and they can have enough room to roam, and then they find freedom. And it's such a waste, or it's such, I don't know what is the word, meaning that such unfortunate thing that believing this is the truth, right? You have them for many number of years in school that you can actually provide what they need to see why this is the truth. And if they get that, it will stick with them forever, right? Because unless the reasoning can be overruled or overcome, it still stands. But if you just cage people's mind, etc., then they actually do not have a reason to begin with to stay put. And that's why the freedom will come.
This isn't obvious, and obviously doubt isn't a bad thing. Like, I've even talked to many believers since this has been happening to me, since I've been on this journey, and doubt isn't a bad thing. Doubt, I've heard it said, one of my friends said that faith's twin brother is doubt, and I agree with that. I think doubt is a necessity for something like faith and a concept of faith. But as I've been on this journey and progressing through this journey, my doubt has actually progressed into really this wonder. And I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's like when this all hit me, and if you want to hear more about my story a little bit more in depth, I was actually on a podcast called Theology in Progress, and you can listen to that podcast. So there are links down in the description. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in hearing just more about my story, check out that podcast. It was a lot of fun being on that podcast, so check it out. But like I was saying, as this hit me, it was like this overwhelming sense of doubt. And I came into this place of doubt, like doubting whether or not I existed, like me as a person, like what is real. Really a Rene Descartes moment. And honestly, that, I think therefore I am, that mantra, that saying, whatever you want to call it, principle really helped really helped that first period in this journey that I've been going through. But yeah, this constant feeling of doubt, even still, it happens. But when I overcome that doubt, it's not that I overcome the doubt. It's just like when I progress through it and stop looking at doubt as a bad thing, then it opens the door for wonder. And like I said before, it's something that I've never felt before, and it's a really good thing. And so as I've been talking about this constant feeling that I've had on this journey, it sounds like bad thing, guilt and doubt, but then they turn into, once I find that I'm looking at life through the right lenses and through the right perspective, not a perspective where I'm in a religious, a sect of religion, really, Christianity, not when I'm not looking through those lenses, and I'm looking through the lenses of humanity, and there might be something greater, there might not be something greater.
So is it inherently contradiction or contradictory between, because the way he described, of course he relates to his experience in, I'm not sure which sect in Christianity, and then he contradict that to the lens of humanity. Is it different? Meaning,
when I choose to go about this journey looking through those lenses, I find that I have this renowned sense of childlikeness that I even when I was a Christian, involved in Christianity, I never felt that before. Like, there's this childlikeness that is, as I said, the guilt turns into a freedom, and then the doubt turns into wonder. And this childlikeness, it's able to explore all those areas that I wasn't able, or even, like I said, it was like I wasn't allowed to explore those areas before. And I've had to ask myself, why? Why wasn't I allowed to explore these things? Like meditation, for one. It was just like the church automatically, I'm not bashing the church in this video, I guess. I'm not bashing the church. I'm just saying that there are a number of things that the church sees as bad, but then you look at it from a different lens and a different perspective, and you're like, why? Like, what? It's just mind blowing. It's just like me personally, from that, it's just like this childlikeness, and I find it really amazing. So, all that to say, I'm still on this journey. I still don't feel landed in anywhere on respects to belief. And I think that I have entered into faith in a number of areas. And yes, I probably don't have the same concept that you do as faith and belief. I have videos about that, talking about the etymology and how I got to my ideas of that. But I would say I'm in faith way more than, but I'm not in belief at all. I have any strong beliefs in anything other than the objective world around me. And so that's why I say, you could say I'm atheist, but at the same time I'm skeptical of even atheism. And so it's atheist but not an atheist. Let me just say this, on the Richard Dawkins scale, if you guys have ever heard of that, it's 1 to 7, 1 being you absolutely believe in God, 7 being you absolutely do not believe in God, and you would say there is no God. I'm a 5 on that scale. That's where I find that I'm like, yes, I register with what Richard Dawkins said, is that level on that scale. And so, yeah, I hope that was interesting for you all. And let me know what you think about everything that I said down in the comments. And especially if you're going through the same thing, just know that there's hope. And there is, like, when you push through those feelings, when you accept those fears, when you accept the things that you're going through, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It might not be the light that you were expecting, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I've seen that light, and I've been there time and time again. I don't just think, hypothetically speaking, it's one tunnel. I think that this is a journey, and like I said, I've been at it for 3 years. So yeah, check out that podcast if you want to know more. Theology in Progress. Again, links down in the description. And yeah, Jordan, thank you so much for having me on that podcast. That was a lot of fun, and hope to be on again in the future. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And
okay, so I think the point is finished, right? So I think the later part is about, I don't know, finding joy in exploration or something, right? Where you are allowed to explore and he kind of making the contradiction between that, is it contradiction, with what he felt before, where you are not even allowed to explore, and certain things are straight away being labeled as bad for what no apparent reason, etc. Right? Yeah, my thought is that the issue of exploration, right? I think that is an integral part of searching for the truth. Personally, I would think, right? And it is fundamentally different to me that how you get to the conclusion. One is by, I don't know, a certain set of ideological belief being forced onto you without any apparent reasoning, logical explanation, etc., and reaching the same exact conclusion but through exploring and reasoning, etc. Right? So I think what will happen next afterwards, even though on the surface both people are holding on to the same faith, the same belief system, the joy is different, right? Because throughout this life of the first person, it is always they have to comply, not sure why, but you are already in this religion for whatever reason, just comply, just force yourself to accept, and then live miserably to comply, right? While the other one still wills the same belief system, but I think in terms of the feeling, it is being liberated because he know he is on the truth, he live on the truth, he know the destination based on, of course, when you believe that the certain religion from the Almighty Creator is the truth, then you know that this is the final destination that you're heading towards, and it does free yourself from other chains, you know, including chains of materialism, etc., etc. Right. So conceptually, I think that is the case. Practically, how to really implement to the kids, that's the challenging question, I think. Because the easiest way is just to force into them, right? And then just keep quiet, just accept. But that is not a sustainable way to go about it, obviously, I don't think, right? So that's my thought on this video. Even though it is specifically about Christianity, but the talking point here is more on leaving, you know, a certain religion behind, I think, because it's focusing more on, especially any religion that have the similar traits, right? It cage you, it you know, make you less free, etc. Wallahu alam. So that's my thought. I don't need to prolong this video any longer, I think. So thank you for watching. What do you think? What do you think about what he says? What do you think about, does it resonate with your own experience? And let me know. Thank you for watching. See you next time.